Hi there. If you're looking for some sweet and simple ideas with Stampin' Up's Perfectly Pairs bundle, this is the video for you. In just a few simple steps, you can make this really beautiful thank you card. So let me show you how to make it. I got my stamps already mounted, so I'll put that aside for a second. And I'll put my sample up here so you can kind of see where we're heading. I have my card kit here. By the way, if you like the easy button for your crafting, I do offer monthly class kits. I have the link in the description down below the video. So I have my card base here. This is the basic wide thick cardstock. I prefer that for my card bases. I have a piece of basic white cardstock, the regular, that is embossed with the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. Then I have a few extra pieces here. I went ahead and I die cut the branch, this shape here, from some pecan pie cardstock. So I prepared that. Then I have a square that is die cut from Mossy Meadow cardstock with the largest square that we have in the Stylish Shapes dies. I have a small piece that nests nicely in this one. So it's, you could cut it to 2 and 5/8, or just, I cut mine slightly smaller, so just right between the next smaller increment, the 1/16 of an inch smaller, just to have a nice even border all around. Then I have a teeny tiny piece here of the Mossy Meadow and Gold trim. So this is basically a scrap, because I have a fun tip for you how I like to use up these pieces. You know, sometimes you tie a bow and then you still need to trim one end, and then you might be left with one of these pieces. So I'll show you how you can use even those pieces. And then I have a label here that you may not have seen. This is from our upcoming set of dies. It's called Traditional Labels. And that's coming out September 3rd in our September-December mini catalog. So just to kind of give you a sneak peek there. But let's go ahead and do our first few steps here. I'll get the envelope out of the way. I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm just running that all around my embossed piece. If you prefer liquid glue, you could do that too, of course. And then I will put that on my card base here. Trying to make sure I have a nice even border all around. Even with Stampin' Seal, you can wiggle it into place a little bit. Okay, so that just gives our card a nice, even though it's white on white, just giving it that extra texture. And then our next step, we will just put some adhesive on our Designer Series paper. Same thing, just going all around. And I'm going to layer that here on, oops, which way? Well, it actually doesn't matter, right? Since it's a square. So I'm just going to layer that here on my Mossy Meadow square. Just gently moving it around a little bit. Okay, so then I have my piece here of the Mossy Meadow and Gold trim. So it actually has two sides. I don't know if you can tell. One side is way more of that gold threads in there, and then the other side is more of that Mossy Meadow. What I love about this ribbon, in this paper you have Mossy Meadow and Old Olive, and this is going to be such a staple for my Christmas card making this year, because it goes so well with like lots of green tones, but mainly the Mossy Meadow and the Old Olive, and it's just a right, you know, just a perfect amount of shimmer. So now here, this is what I do with these bits and pieces of ribbon. I'm going to grab a mini glue dot, and I'm putting that right on the end there. And I'll pick that off, and then I'll fold it into a loop. So since it has two different sides, you'll want to decide which side you want to, you know, be on the outside. And then I'll grab another one. Let's see here. Oh, did I skip one? Oh, I skipped one. So we don't want to waste that. Oh, okay, I'll fix that later. I guess my little fold there messed that up. So I'm going to put another one on there. Just getting that out of the way. And then I take my square piece and I'm just putting it behind there. So that way it does add, you can see that here on my sample, it does add a little bit of sparkle to balance with our final embellishments, those sparkle dots. And yeah, so using up that scrap, you don't have to waste those if you don't want to. And yeah, just a little bit of ribbon, because sometimes, especially if you're making cards for men, you know, you don't want to use a whole lot of big bows and sparkly ribbon, but I think this is just the right amount. So I'm trying to keep it in place. I mean, the glue dot is going to keep it in place, but I like to just add a little bit more there. And since this is the largest square, I like to make sure my card is not getting smushed flat in the mail. So I'm using a whole bunch of dimensionals. Well, this one doesn't come off, so we'll move on to the next one. We'll do that last. Sometimes they just need a little push, a little squeeze with your nail in the middle to lift the sides, and I think that's all of that. And now I can place that on my card. Let's see, I want to keep it straight, about there. Okay, so now let's do some stamping though, just at least, even if it's just one little sentiment. So I have my Mossy Meadow ink pad, have my thank you sentiment mounted on a clear block, and I'm going to stamp it a little bit more on this side so I have some room for that nice pecan pie branch and leaves. Okay, there we go. Let's close that so I don't make a big mess. And I actually glued that down straight to my card since I already have this popped up. So we'll just do some adhesive there in the middle and then line that up. Oop. Okay, I might have put my square a little bit low here, but that's okay. So I'm putting that on here. Okay, and now our little branch. Of course, you can put this on our adhesive sheet, so this would, when you pull it out of your die, it would actually be like a sticker. But I don't mind using a little bit of liquid glue, bringing in my trusty silicone sheet and my applicator bottle. So this is just in here, I just have my regular Tombow liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a few dots in a few places. So if it's coming out, there we go. Less is more. That's why I love our liquid multi-purpose glue, because really a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just putting it where the leaves don't have that much texture. Oops, I probably put it on the wrong one. Let's see here. Nope, I put it on the right one. So, I mean, I don't want to get too messy with it. And you can always, when you have it on your card, you can always go back in and adjust that a little bit. So really not a whole lot of adhesive. And then as you can see here on my sample card, I want this one leaf to go over there. So I have to lift it up here a little bit and kind of sneak it in there. So that's why I was stamping my sentiment a little bit to the side. So while your liquid glue is still liquid, you can wiggle it around a little bit if you want to, and then push it down. There we go. And now for a final touch, using these, these are called low profile sparkle dots. These are also in Painterly, is it called Painterly Pears? No, that's the Designer Series Paper. I think it's called Perfectly Pears, something with pears. in the suite, and I'll be using the ones here in Old Olive. So I'm using a larger one. Oops. And I'm going to put that right here. And then I'll be using a small one. So they come in 2 sizes. And I will put one right there. And then another one. I like to do 3 pairs, like kind of, is it called pairs of 3s? No, that doesn't make sense. Just 3 on each card. Oh, we're going to put it here, there. I'll put it there. Okay, so, and like I said, now we have, because we have a little bit of that sparkly ribbon here, used up our scraps of ribbon. It's a nice balance from here to there, kind of like in a diagonal shape for your card. And that's it. Like I said, I offer class kits for the cards I share here on my YouTube channel. Again, the link is in the description down below. You will also find the link to sign up for my email list if you want to have updates on all classes that I do, or other special events, or Stampin' Up! News. You can register for my email list there as well. I'll see you in the next video.